Now today we are looking at the White Knights playing cards. This is an absolutely gorgeous deck and I cannot wait to show it to you. So if you want to see how this marked deck looks, yes it is a marked deck for value and you can check out that video. If you want to see this deck review, and I have a deck review come out every Wednesday, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you can be notified when all that drops. Now let's get into this deck review of the White Knights playing cards right now. Now on the front of this white matte tuck box you're going to see the word Knights done in gold ink and a little bit as like gold foil, so it actually is, it's not quite embossed, but you can feel a texture difference because it is foil. And then it says Madison and Ramsey, which would be Daniel Madison and Chris Ramsey, the two creators of this deck. So you have that right here on the front. On one side you have a blank side, and on the other side you have a blank side. The back is going to be all of the different pieces you have in a chess game. Of course, this is a chess themed deck. On the top it is blank, and on the bottom you have Illusionist ad copy who produced this deck. On the inside tuck flap you have a silver foil band around the bottom of it, and then on the inside you have the knight here with a checkerboard pattern on the inside, which I do think it is a checkerboard pattern. I think it's kind of funny considering this is a chess deck. Let's take a look at the cards inside. Now when it comes to the number cards, first you have the clubs, which have the, in all values, have a custom value here. And for spades and the rest of them, all of the actual placement is a little bit more compact. And these spades are slightly redone. And a little bit smaller as well. And then the red cards are now gold with a small, thin black outline. Again, done in gold foil. And then here are the diamonds as well. So all going to be super elegant, super beautiful, and look absolutely great. Now when it comes to our court cards, there's two different kinds. One is the standard court cards, like, and by that I mean standard faces, but all of the actual clothes and all the colors are changed to only black and gold. So it's just going to be your standard bicycles, but you're going to have more gold for the reds and more black for the blacks. And then here are your custom ones, basically the same thing, but all of the faces are going to be custom. So you have the Jack of Clubs, King of Hearts, of course, Daniel Madison with his Nine of Clubs revealed down there, only on the one side, so you can do a color change to get that to work. Your three aces are slightly enlarged and look absolutely gorgeous. Your two ad cards are going to be Knights with M9 and R4 on them. I'm assuming that's the placement on the actual chessboard. I'm not quite sure what that actually means though, so if you actually know what those letters mean next to that, let me know in the comments below. Now this actually might be my favorite part of the deck. These are the jokers. Actually, if you go back and see my top 5 jokers video, this is my number 1 set of jokers out of all the cards that I have in my entire collection. Not just those, a bunch of those down there, those up there, tons more cards that I have. And these are my favorite jokers out of every set of jokers that I have. And these are them right there. So you have Daniel Madison's bird right there sitting on a tipped over king, both on the jokers, done with pointillism, and I am a pointillism artist myself, alongside being a magician, YouTuber, drummer, and a bunch of other weird things that I like to do. I love pointillism, and I love how these turned out. So this is going to be my number 1 set of jokers. So if you want to check out that video, I'll leave it in the description, but let's get to the rest of this review. Now before I show you what the back design looks like, you need to see this Ace of Spades. It is a super cool Ace of Spades. Definitely some things I would change about it, but I do really like it a lot. And then when it comes to the back design, you're going to have a super cool and intricate back design with a bunch of chess pieces. Now I am going to, in a moment, show you one of the cards that is not a joker. This one is a joker, and you're going to have to guess which one it is. And let me know in the comments below which one you think it is. Now I'm going to do this completely randomly. First of all, I just picked it up. I'm going to look at it myself, and I believe that this one is a 2, just so you guys can see that it is marked for value. I'm going to find another random one, and now this time it is your turn. So, see if you can tell me what this is in the comments below. Now let's get into the rest of this review. So, first thing you want to know probably is, can this deck Pharaoh? It'd be great if this deck looks great, which it does, but if it can't Pharaoh, that's going to be kind of sad, right? So of course you're going to want to see, let's see if it can Pharaoh from top to bottom, and it literally Pharaoh'd every other. That is amazing. Now from bottom to top, that would also be helpful if it can Pharaoh both ways, which some decks in fairness cannot, and this one as well can ferrule from bottom to top. So it can ferrule both ways. It looks just fine when fanning. I wish that the border would be a little bit more thin so you could actually get a little bit cooler of a fan, but you know, that's what happens when you have a more Magic themed deck instead of a cardistry themed deck. And then here's what the faces look like when fanned as well. So still looks super good, no problem with it, just not anything over the top. Now, how does that deck feel in your hands, right? So if you give it a card spring, or you do under pressure, or you do anything like that, how is this deck gonna feel in your hands? So there's two ways that I can tell you. Number one, I can tell you the finish. Number two, I can tell you how this stock and how it feels. So first, let's start with the freaking finish, because freaking finish sounds more than just like, it's way more fun. This is the fun freaking finish. That's what we're gonna start calling it now. This is just fun for me. It's the fun freaking finish. We have air cushion finish, so it has those little air pockets, and it's not smooth finish. Hallelujah! It's garbage. I hate smooth finish. I just can't stand it. So it's the illusionist version of air cushion finish, and it feels absolutely wonderful. Now, when it comes to the stock, there's two ways I can describe it to you, because I can't just like hand it to you through the screen, which I wish I could, but unfortunately I can't. So what I do instead is I tell you in two ways. I tell you how thick it is, and I tell you how it feels. So how thick it is what we're going to look at first, and there's three ways I can tell you. We have the thin, middle of the line, and thick, or just the classic or premium stock. This is just the middle of the line classic stock. It's not extra thick, it's not extra thin, it's not even thin for a classic stock, it's not crushed. It just feels like a normal, classic, good feeling deck. Now, when it comes to how the deck feels in your hands, there's the buttery side, which means it's going to be freakishly easy when you're doing something like this, but those usually warp a little bit faster. You have the middle of the line, just your normal bicycle deck of cards, on how that feels in your hands. You have extra snappy or crispy, which just sounds like bacon. So if you're performing something like Hot Shot, that's going to be a lot easier to perform when doing something like that. And then if you're going to perform something like absolutely nothing, then you're going to want a super stiff deck where you can't move it, right? So this deck actually has a good bit of both snappy and buttery. It's not just the middle of the line where it has just like it's just a bicycle deck. It has a good bit of both snappy and buttery, but if I had to lean one way, I would, no matter what, 100% lean towards snappy or crispy. It has a ton of snap to it. It doesn't warp super easily. It is a really nice deck that you can just get a good amount of snap with if you're trying to perform something like that, like bullets, flicker shots, anything along those lines. You're going to get a good, quick snap out of it, and it sounds super crisp. So that's what it is going to feel like. Now, who should buy this deck? Should you buy this deck? That's why you're here for this review, not just to see what it looks like, what it feels like, can it ferrule. You want to know if you should buy it, if you should buy it for a friend or for someone else for Christmas, which is a long way away at this point, but hey, look, you're getting your stuff in early, right? Or late at this point, but it's okay. Really, really late, but I forgive you. So, should you buy this deck? First of all, it's Magicians. 100% pick this deck up. It is marked for value, and that video is coming up on Sunday, or it was last Sunday, and this brain isn't quite working right, so we're just going to pretend like I know that. So if it was on Sunday, I'll leave it in the description. If not, then it'll be in the description either way, but you'll either see it as a private video and you can't see it yet, or you'll have it already there. So it's whatever. So it is a marked deck for value, as I showed you before. So like, let's just take this top card. This one is a king, and then I flip it over, and it is a king, right? So yeah, let me just give you a better example of this. This one right here. Let me try something that's not a king. This one is a 8. Bam, haha. So it is a marked deck. The back design is intricate, so people aren't going to notice. It's a super gorgeous deck. The faces are all basically standard, so it's not going to be hard to notice for the spectators. You're going to get duplicate jokers, which is great for magic effects. It's an all-around great deck, and there's a reveal on the Daniel Madison King. So, all-around great deck for Magicians. Now, when it comes to Cardis, this probably isn't your deck. It just isn't. There's not enough contrast between the white and the gold. Sorry, it's just not. Now, when it comes to collectors, I definitely collect this deck. Madison, Ramsey, Illusionist, marked deck. Cool deck that would look good on a shelf. For all these reasons, you can definitely collect it. It's not super expensive or super rare, so outside of those two things, I probably wouldn't collect it. But for all the other reasons that I named and more, definitely something you could collect. Now, is this one you want to play games with? Probably not. Number one, people just don't really use cards that well, and people like us, magicians, cardist, collectors, etc., I don't really want people messing up with my deck. Now, besides that, it is a marked deck, so you probably will have people cheating, but it does have a really simple back design and simple face design, so you could use it if you wanted to. It's not hard to recognize what cards are, and if you just want a little bit of an upper hand when you're playing games, although I do not endorse cheating in any sort of game, but, you know, you could play games with it technically. Then this is a hype deck. Heck no. So if you want to pick up this deck or any of the other Knights decks, I will leave them for 10% off with code cardperfectmagician down in the description below. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is Card Perfect, signing off.